Hello everyone and welcome to the Facts Tell Stories Sell webinar stroke podcast with good friend and prolific author Dominic Hodgson. Hi Dom.
Hello my friend, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very, very good. Now the reason I've got Dom on today for people is if you've been a follower of Elite Publishing for the 10 years, Dom wrote his first book, I'm going to hopefully get this right, How to Be a Dog Superhero in 2016. Correct. Thank you. I have done a little bit of research.
Well, you printed the damn thing as well, so you should know.
So this kind of webinar podcast really is to do with really what happens next more than anything, which is always where I think I can help people and do stuff as well, because writing, as I always say, I'm not the best writer in the world at all, but I know how you can kind of publish a book and get it out there and use it to your own advantage, really, and that's what I've got Dom on for. And just to talk through, if you like, the next steps and what's really happened since his first book, and thereon. So Dom, I'm going to go straight into it, my friend. And since launching the How to Be Your Dog Superhero, way back now in 2016, how's that kind of changed the business, if it has or if it hasn't, if it's generated stuff or what? Just give people a little bit of idea of when you wrote that first one and what's happened since then, if that's okay.
Yeah, okay. So I'll be honest with you and say it's done everything that I expected to do and a lot more. Okay. And I think part of that reason is because when I think back now, because of kind of what had happened just before I wrote the book, really. So before I wrote the book, I was expanding the business different ways. I tried an online store which hadn't worked, and then I moved into selling online dog training programs, you know. And at that time, I was starting to obviously learn more about marketing, because you can't do anything like that unless you know about marketing, can you? And it was kind of I sort of came into your world through John, you know. Yep. So you and John and Vicky, who sort of helped me write the book, and you helped me with the publishing, and John gave me the whole idea for, you know, why we should be doing this kind of thing to help grow our business, improve your positioning, make yourself more attractive, you know, all that kind of thing. Yep. That was, so I think in many ways, Bill, unless, you know, there'll be people out there who obviously are working with you at the moment, and they'll come into it in a similar way, you know, like, right, this is the thing you need to do now. Yeah. Whereas I think a lot of people, obviously, they just think about writing a book, you know, which is fine and dandy, isn't it? You know what I mean? I want to write a book for whatever reason, just because maybe they want to be an author. But I think because I'd come into it with that sort of marketing knowledge and help and support, I ended up writing a book at the right time. I wrote the right kind of book, and then I had other things to sell on the back of it, you know. So yeah, so actually, literally, as the book launched, then I launched in a circle at the same time, a dog training in a circle for people who like love their dogs but they didn't have any control over them, and yeah, and then produced various dog training programs and stuff after that, and then I wrote another book after that as well. And that kind of, and this is kind of a slightly bigger point even again, going off on one here, but like the book opened so many doors for you, you know? Yeah. And I'd invested so much time, money and effort in my marketing education that it kind of got to the point where I was sort of better at the marketing than I was at the dog training. Yeah. And that's not to say I wasn't a very good dog trainer, or I'm not a very good dog trainer, but like, yeah, so, and then, so from there, I ended up kind of creating another inner circle, segueing again a different way, and then teaching other pet business owners how to market their business, you know. So it's and then from there, my kind of career, if you like, or my that's been kind of the thing, you know, yes. The business within the business, if you like, and then that's kind of the thing that's took off with speaking engagements and press and another book that I've just written and all this kind of thing as well. So yeah, opened many doors.
No, and that's the key thing. That's why I like having you on these chats of ours, is because you've kind of lived and breathed the whole thing from writing the first book to kind of creating mini guides as well now, and knowing the understanding of, you know, getting content out there, but good quality content. And like you say, I think you're a prime example of someone who's literally listened to what other people have said, put your own spin on it, obviously, which is key. And then the beauty of what you've done, because I've benefited from it, is that you've told other people how to do it properly, and this is what they should be doing within, you know, within your world, within your circle. But like you say, I think from you understanding the power of what the book done for you, I suppose, originally, and taking that all on board, it's kind of led on, like you said, to other things that you specialise in, isn't it? You know, that's what it comes down to, isn't it? I think by getting your word out there, your content out there, that it really helps. If it's done well, remember, there's lots of people out there that don't do this well.
Yeah.
You, again, without blowing smoke up your arse, as it were, you've done it well. Well, you have done it well. But you have, though, haven't you? You've done it, you know, especially, I use you as an example all the time. It's not being derogatory, like, you know, it's a case of, well, Dom, look, he started off, you know, with the pet business, for example, and now it's grown so much. There's not being derogatory. It's like me as a printer, you know, blimey,
absolutely.
But then you have to expand and grow. And I think, like you said, I like what the key word you said there was, you know, you spent time and money on your kind of marketing education, which then led on to the, you know, what you're doing now, really. And just quickly explain to people what kind of the secondary side of it, like you said, it's helping other people grow their business, but in what way?
So there's a lot of, I guess that you could say this about every profession out there, but particularly in the pet industry, people get into it because they have a passion for pets. You know, they have a passion for dogs, or passion for grooming, or a passion for daycare. And usually it's come down, or passion for training. Usually it's some kind of bad experience that they've had, and they thought, you know what, I can do better at this and this, or they, and you before you know, and because in many ways the pet industry, you can start a lot of businesses without spending a lot of capital, particularly, you know, like. You can start them from home. Obviously, a dog walking business, you just really need a van or a car even. You could be a mobile dog groomer. Obviously, if you're doing a daycare or something, you need bigger premises and whatnot. But however, a lot of people get into it because they're really passionate about it. I mean, like super passionate, you know. And in a way, they're too passionate because they're very passionate about the dog's welfare, which is perfectly true. And they're passionate about helping people. But they forget about the business side of things, you know. And if you're running a business, then it has to make money, you know, otherwise it doesn't last. And that's the only reason why people go out of business, you know. So, so a big part of what I'm doing is to say to dog walkers, trainers, groomers, daycare owners, pet photographers even, pet massage people, I've had all these different people, pet scanners, Sarah, who she's just been in contact with you, hasn't she, about her book?
Yes, thank you for that,
so like, all these people, now it's me saying, right, like you are super good at this, you know, like now you really need to get good at marketing how good you are if you really want to not just make more money, but make more of an impact as well, you know. If you really want to help more people, then like we need to do it this way, you know. And like you said, without blowing too much smoke in my ass, I've done it. I've made the mistakes, and I've also been helping other people to do it for 2 or 3 years now. And the people who follow the system, they end up, you know, creating little mini universes in the dog industry in their world as well, you know, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
No, exactly. And that kind of leads very nicely onto the next question that I have for you, is obviously been not just within the marketing, business marketing, but I'll niche it down a little bit more for your books and guides. What's the one biggest kind of mistake that you think you've made when you've been promoting the books and guides along the way? What kind of did you get seduced by that failed? Or because this is what I want to help people with. It's not a case of all like the golden nuggets. It's a case of from somebody who's literally now the last 3-4 years been spending money on promoting their books and their guides to get onto the bigger picture that we just spoke about. What's the kind of the biggest mistake you can kind of say to people, look, I've done this, and look, trial and error for everybody, don't get me wrong, but is there anything that really stands out for you?
Yeah, a couple of things actually. I'm not deflecting the question. I'll come back to it. But one of the things that I did particularly right was I built a list. You know, so I built a list, and I had a list that I had pre-sold the book to, which, you know, I pre-sold 250 copies. That paid for 1,000 copies from you, plus the cover design. You know what I mean? And that can really set me up for. That book's now got 160 reviews, you know, so it's that's key, you know. You've got to have a list.
I love that. Right. So again, people watching this, and again, you know, a lot of people that come onto us are very similar, you know, business owners, entrepreneurs, business professionals, for example. But for some reason, and I will say this, and I sound like a broken record, but when it comes to a book or a guide, they throw all their professional heads out the window, and it becomes this emotional kind of thing for some reason. It's my job, if you like, to tell them, look, it's a product. How do you sell the product?
You've got to have people to sell it to.
No, exactly. And I think that's a key thing. One of the key things, as you say, to do is to obviously get a pre-built list. Might take you a bit of time, but or warm to hot leads, obviously. And like you say, do special offers for them, add things on. Never have to do a discount. You can always add, you know, for example, get a book and a audio book, or not especially DVDs anymore, but a video series or whatever it may well be, workbooks, whatever you're doing. Think of it that way, and then you can kind of pre-sell, like you say, enough to pay for the printing.
You pre-sell anything, really. You know, if you have the relationship with them, isn't it? You know, that's the thing. You want to, you know, you're trying to build up you're trying to take sort of all of the people who are in your industry who could potentially be customers, and you're trying to kind of move them all into one room, a big room where you can then have a bit of a private conversation with them. So absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. That was part of the success of that. Yes. Similarly, by the same token, I think one of my sort of failures is, since I started the like grow your pet business fast side of things, I've kind of neglected the dog training audience a bit, you know. So I've written Worry-Free Walks,
Hold on,
Perfect Puppy Project. Oh, he's got in his hand now. Yeah, I've written Worry-Free Walks and the Perfect Puppy Project since I wrote How to Be a Dog Superhero. But I didn't maintain that list. So there you go, big fail. I didn't really maintain that list, just because it was getting too difficult to kind of write 2 emails a day to 2 different lists, you know. And it's not so bad if you're just selling one thing, but then obviously within the Grow Your Pet Business Fast side of things, I'm selling lots of things to them all of the time, you know. So I might be sending 2 or 3 emails a day, and just maintaining that. And so consequently, the most recent dog training book that I wrote, Perfect Puppy Project, which came out in May, I think, that hasn't done particularly well at all for me by my standards, because partly because I rushed the launch. I was busy doing an event at the time. So yeah, you've really got to focus, especially if it's your first book, you know. You've really got to focus, and if you want to make a big splash, you've got to focus on it. You've got to build a list. You've got to build excitement, and then you've got to hammer it. You know, you've got to hammer it for like a good few months, haven't you? And chase people up for testimonials, you know, and get them to post pictures on social media, and try and get interviewed on podcasts or whatever. You know what I mean? Lots of try everything, some local press. You have to like throw everything at it, and guess what? The more you throw at it, the more the better you do, you know. And it's true. And I think a lot of people think there's one way of doing everything nowadays, which does help. You've got Facebook, you know, paid for advertising works tremendously well, of course. But that's not the only side of it. You have to kind of, like you say, you have to sometimes get yourself out there. And for some people, I know that's not their demeanor, shall we say. It's not the way they're doing it. But then why are you doing this in the first place? You know, that's what you've got to kind of go back to, isn't it? Why you've kind of decided to do this. And I say, you know, so again, so we're on, which one are we on now? Number 5, are we? This is 5, yeah.
So So you've just launched the
Ultimate Pet Business Plan. Yeah,
that's Dom's new guide, and there's a difference between the guide and the book as we kind of do that. But with that, like I say, so that's what I say. You know, why do you write so many books? Is my next kind of question to you. Do you think, or guides, whichever way you want to pronounce it? But why do you think since 2016? Some people could have rested on their laurels with that book, and I think like you say, you know, you could have that marketing funnel which you do, and it just keeps ticking over, if you like. But obviously, there's a reason why you've kind of done this, you know, the 5th one.
Yeah, there's a number of different reasons, really, without like sort of bamboozling the listener. I did that book in 2016. I did 2016? Yeah, 2016. Yeah. And then I did, in 2017, I did Walk Yourself Wealthy. And that was more of a business book for dog walkers and stuff, you know? Yeah. And I did that to help me to launch that other side of the business, you know, which has become the main side of the business then. Yes. From there, I think I wanted to get more dog trainers' eyes on my business. So, and because they're so disinterested in marketing, I thought, well, I'll just write another dog training book, and then they can read that, and hopefully then they'll read. So that was part of the reason. Another part of it is just because I'm writing so much anyway that it's going to sound really big-headed, isn't it? No, it's not that difficult now. No, but it's not that difficult now. You know, you work hard at something for 5 years. You know, it's like if you worked at being a painter for 5 years, you know, it wouldn't really be difficult for you to do it. You would enjoy it, you know, and you would get quicker at it, wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I decided to do like a little series of books called the Street Smart Dog Training Series. So number 1 was Worry-Free Walks in 2018. And then number 2 was the Perfect Puppy Project, which came out in May. And then I just decided to take a break from the series a little bit and go back to doing a pet business book, you know. So, but I'm creating a lot of content all the time, obviously, for podcasts and newsletters, emails. So it's not difficult for me to recycle this stuff into more books, you know.
No, and that's, I'm glad it's lovely hearing someone else say that, because I say it all the time to people, is that we produce content on a daily basis, whether it's just even on your Instagram, 60 seconds, or your LinkedIn, or especially video content nowadays, everything. And we can get it transcribed so quickly, and if you do it, probably get a proper proofreader and editor involved, obviously. But all of us who are probably watching this are, you know, small business owners from whatever, £100,000 probably to £3 million turnover, and we know what we should be doing, but are people doing it regularly? Are they doing it consistently? And that's probably the difference between yourself, who's been successful at what they're doing, to somebody who's maybe struggling, kind of half-hearted doing it, because maybe they don't believe in the process. I don't know. I mean, that's a different bloody webinar podcast altogether. But I think there's a lot of it down to that, isn't it? It's a case of, why don't people put out their content every day? Why don't, you know, I think it's that belief system of, I don't know, maybe they're not sure internally what's going on with it. And the same thing with the book and the guide is, I see so many people who have got a great guide or book, and they suddenly market it for, say, I don't know, 2 months max, and because they haven't got quite the result, whatever they were looking for in the first place, they kind of give up very easily. And you kind of think, well, no, you've missed a massive section of what you should be doing, like you're saying, podcasts, webinars, going on to other people's webinars or whatever, or local news. You know, people, we want to consume stuff still. We all still want to consume stuff. I think everyone's, you know, goes on about, oh, everyone's on their phone. Well, good. You know, that's promote to them on their phones then, you know, kind of tell them what they want to hear and give them everything they need, because people, like, again, especially with what you do in a niche, same as me, like within a niche area, is if you're providing good quality content for people that are mildly interested and really interested, guess what? When they're ready to have a look at something, they might, you know, okay, we give a lot of free stuff away, which is fine, but the ones that, you know, you put them through your buy-in cycle, if you like, and when they're ready, just, you know, they might not be ready today, they might be ready in a year's time, who knows? But again, you want to be seen as the expert within your field. That's why you've written so many books and guides.
That's why, yeah, just good point there. Just to jump in there, I mean, part of the reason is just because, you know, we know that a book sort of brings you a bit of authority status and credibility and all this kind of thing. Well, guess what? More books bring you more of that. So that's one of the reasons. But I don't have any plans to sort of slow down or stop with the writing. If anything, I'll probably churn out more, I hope, really.
Oh, well, it's good, hopefully, for someone like me as well. But I mean, there's loads of, and also, you know, from a marketing point of view, I think obviously the cost of it's come down a lot. We've got a lot more facilities out there, so much great software for authors, or authorpreneurs as they're now called. Because there is, you know, you've got Amazon Kindle and got all that other stuff there that you can kind of do it for, you know, nothing really if you wanted to. But it all comes back to, again, is how good you are with your marketing, with your book marketing, with your book promotion that gets you the leads and other stuff that goes along the way, you know. So I think really we're spoiled now with choice, but you've got to choose the right way of which way you're going to go. We'd all love to do something for nothing, wouldn't we? But you know, it's not going to be that way, I don't think, really. So. Last question for you, Dom, before we let you crack on. Could you give, that doesn't have to be a number, but give us your kind of top tips for promoting your book, do you think? What would you say to someone? If I was, you know, talking to you now, as we are, but so we're having a cup of coffee, a nice pint, and I'm saying, you know what, Dom, I'm going to write it. And you say, that's great writing the book. You need to market it. What kind of golden nugget would you give to somebody to say, this is probably what you should do? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah. I would. I've already said the list thing. You know, I've already said the list. But it kind of ties in with that. Really, is I would find some kind of niche to write in. You know, I would find, and I would go as tight as you could go, really, with that niche, because this is something I'll be doing a lot more with my guys next year. But it's just as my from my industry type of thing, as an example, I wouldn't be even though I did this the first time around, I wouldn't be recommending anybody write like a general dog training book. No. You know, I would make it for puppies, or I wouldn't just make it for puppies. I would make it for, like, maybe it's the first week you get a puppy, you know, or I would make it for German Shepherd puppies. Yes. Or, do you know what I mean? I would make it for, you know, German Shepherd puppies owners who are who live in a big city,
Yes.
Something like that. Do you know what I mean? And I would try.
Really
I would try. I would really sort of niche down as much as you can. And the reason for that is because hopefully people who are going to be writing a book, certainly my guys are anyway, because I'll tell them what to do. But that's not just going to be the thing that you do, you know. And you're never going to make £1 million from your book. You know what I mean? But you might make £1 million from, you know, a book and an inner circle and some events and you know, we're not even 100,000 even. Do you know what I mean? You know, we might all like to be millionaires, but I don't know if we need to be millionaires. You know, but you can make a really good living, you know, and because of the way that. Obviously, the type of thing that we're doing now, you know, this could be seen and will be seen by people from as far away as Australia to Alaska, you know, and everywhere in between. And what you do is when you niche down like that, you kind of you give like a beacon to everybody who is in that niche, no matter where they are in the world. It's in your town as well, even, you know. So every German Shepherd puppy owner who lives in a city, well, when they get a puppy, if they're Googling that, then they're going to find you, you know, they're going to be like, Jesus, I can't believe there's a book been written just for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that's where I would recommend that you got that everyone got. And obviously we could use that example for anything else, could we? For car mechanics or lawyers or hairdressers or, you know, whatever. No, and that is what they say. That is a really good bit of advice, I think, because I think, like I say, the amount of general books that people do because they think they feel have to kind of splurge or whatever and kind of be like you say, be the niche market, be the specialist within that. That's why you're writing a book for, is being an expert within your. I do a lot of stuff for solicitors and lawyers, and obviously the more they niche down, the better results they get. You know, it's not hard, you know, like you say. But if you're just doing a general marketing book, that's really hard, isn't it? You know, if you're doing a marketing book, just specifically, I'm saying, on pay-per-click, but not just on pay-per-click, if you're just doing it on Facebook ads, and then Facebook ads, not just Facebook ads, it's the whole kind of, you just cutting it down and cutting it. Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah. And that is a fantastic bit of advice. So we're going to wrap it up there, Dom, because it's just going to be a lovely little one before Christmas for everybody. I hope they've taken some, well, to be fair, there's some really good stuff in there. And so if you're going to Damn right there is.
If you're going to be doing if you're going to publish, you're going to write, well, get it out there anyway, but for 2020, and set yourself them goals that Dom said, because I think once you've got a list or started a list, once you've niched your kind of content, and remember, a book is just a product, and then you can sell on your other services, which can lead on to a few extra zeros in the bank account, if that's what you, you know, not everybody's in it for that, I know, but if that's what you want, most of them are, then that's the best way to kind of look at it. Dom, where can people find you if they want to just check you out after this?
Sure, not difficult to find now. If you just Google Dom Hodgson dog trainer or Dom Hodgson pet business mentor, stuff will come up. Or if you want a direct hit, go to the growyourpetbusinessfast.com website, and on there's tons of content, blogs. You can sign up for my emails. You can spend some money. You can check out the podcast and stuff. No, seriously, there's plenty of content on there, loads of good for people to check out. Yeah,
and that's regardless whatever business or service, products you're selling, whatever it is, do go and check it out, because Dom's exactly what you're saying, you know, that says on the tin. There's really good content on there that you can kind of have a look at and think about within your own industry that you're in. So Dom, thank you very much, sir. As always. You're always a favourite. You're always a favourite on the old Elite Publishing. In fact,
you say that to all the girls.
I am such a flirt. I can't help it, mate. Thanks, Dom. And have a good Christmas, mate. Speak to you soon.
Take care, pal.
Cheers, bye.